The Commission on Elections will not outrightly declare someone as a nuisance candidate. March Navarro tells us why.
The Commission on Elections is consistent not to name who among the aspiring presidential candidates are the subject or not of the petitions to declare a nuisance candidate filed by the Law Department of the Commission last week. It can be recalled that among the 130 individuals who filed their certificates of candidacy for president, only 5 were not included in the motu proprio petition of the poll body. The head of the election body insists they are not naming names because due process is still being observed.
Prima facie nuisance. Kung kaya't binibigyan namin sila ng pagkakataon na ipakita na hindi sila nuisance candidate. So kailangan silang magbigay ng ebidensya na hindi sila nuisance.
Meanwhile, some irregularities can be found in the certificate of candidacy of PDP Laban's presidential bet Martin Dino. At first glance, it looks like a COC for a presidential aspirant. However, a closer look would show that in the declaration portion of the form, he is intending to run as mayor of Pasay City. Items 7 and 8 of Dino's COC also shows that the form is not a COC form for president. COMELEC refused to comment on the matter for now.
Pag-aaralan natin.
If a candidate is declared nuisance, his or her COC will be cancelled and the party mate cannot substitute in his or her behalf. Aside from the presidential aspirants, 13 out of the 19 that filed COCs for vice president and 128 of the 172 that are hoping to become senators are also the subject of COMELEC's petition to declare as nuisance candidates. Meanwhile, the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting or PPCRV launched its One Good Vote campaign to combat vote buying and vote selling. PPCRV's chairperson Henrietta de Villa said the problem has worsened into a wholesale transaction, meaning negotiations are now involving the family or even the whole barangay. Vote buying are also done to discourage voters from casting their votes in areas that are considered as the bailiwick of a rival candidate.
Kasi parang wala nang control, you know? But there seems to be, it makes the enforcers, the law enforcers, even COMELEC, even us, we feel so helpless, parang inutil, you know, so helpless against this. It's a very organized crime, vote buying and sadly vote selling.
PPCRV will go around to conduct voter education campaigns on how to vote wisely and not for the money. The election watchdog also launched its One Good Vote app, where people can get a guide in choosing a presidential and vice presidential candidate based on their platform and quality. March Navarro reporting for Y News.